Welcome back. In the previous video, we were able to finish the first phase of our application, which is implementing the static designs. We implemented all of the components that we are going to need in our Pokédex application, including the search box, the Poké cards, and the Poké search result. Now, before proceeding further, let's understand the basics of TypeScript. So TypeScript, if you know JavaScript, learning TypeScript is going to be very easy for you. TypeScript has a lot of benefits while working for a production ready application. If you're aiming to build a prod ready application, you might not choose JavaScript because of the benefits that TypeScript provides you over JavaScript. The best thing, it has types. It's strongly typed, and you can catch everything in the build time itself. You know which variable, which object is going to contain what type of element, and that's something that JavaScript does not provide you and TypeScript does. So understanding TypeScript is super simple. Again, as I said, if I had to explain TypeScript in very layman terms, I'd say that JavaScript with type is equal to TypeScript. So yes, even as they say in their header, typed JavaScript at any scale. So yes, and again, if you want to learn TypeScript, I would highly recommend the documentations. The official documentation of TypeScript is one of the best docs out there. Trust me guys, it has everything. If you are a new programmer and you have to learn TypeScript, you can go to this link. If you are a JavaScript programmer and you want to learn TypeScript, you can click on this. If you know Java or C#, you can click on this. If you know functional programming, you can click on this and learn. You can go through the handbook, which contains a lot of things. You can go through the tutorials, you can go through everything that is mentioned here, and it is going to be very simple to understand without any difficult language, without any jargons, without any rocket science. It's very cool. So in this video, I am going to tell you the basics of TypeScript that can help you get started with using TypeScript in your React projects. And trust me, it is going to be super simple. Cool, let's get started. So if you want to follow along with me, go to typescriptlang.org and then click on the playground. Here we are going to play around with our TypeScript code. If you just want to see me writing the code, that's also fine, because this is not going to be related to our project. This is something that we are just going to play around with. This is just going to be some small playground code. This is just going to be a small random code snippets that I'm going to write to make you understand the concepts in TypeScript. If you want, you can follow along. That will be a better learning for you. That will make you an active learner. So I would highly recommend you following along and playing around with everything possible. And again, don't forget to check out the handbook and the documentation as well. So the first thing is, as I told you, TypeScript is equal to JavaScript that is typed. Let me show you the example. So a simple syntax here is const, that's also there in the JavaScript, and then the variable name, the constant name, that's going to be the greeting. Let's name it as hello world. Let's put the value of hello world here. So whenever you declare any variable, you can provide the type of that variable like this, a colon and then the type. It's going to be a string, so I'm going to type string here. Let's log it out. Console.log greeting. That's as simple as that. Let's click on run. So as you can see here, here's a log saying hello world. So this was the most basic use case of TypeScript, which is JavaScript that is typed is called TypeScript. Very cool. Awesome. So let's get started. Let's have a look at a few more concepts. Let's start off with the basic types. The basic types include arrays. Let's start from the primitive types. Let's say boolean, then it's going to have a number as well. Let's list down everything. Then as far as I can remember, it has a lot of more things like never, any. Yeah, let's go one by one. Let's go string. So there's string, uh, yeah, and then there is also, you can say, arrays, of course. Then again, you can have enum as well. You can have void, you can have any. So this any is very special, so I'll just make it star here so that you remember that this is very simple, because this is something that's eventually going to make your TypeScript equal to JavaScript. So if you remember, in the project that you are doing in the Pokédex application, in the final component we typed our props as any. Now we are going to replace them with a proper interface, so don't worry about that. So yes, there's any, then there is never, then there is null, there is also undefined. All these basic types are present. So let's have a look at a quick examples of each type. Cool. So let's create a normal sort of thing like is student. So I am going to create is student, and let's keep the type of a student as boolean, and let's keep it true. Very cool. So this is the example of a boolean type. Let's have a number as well, student age. So let's define it to be number as 22. So this is number. Okay, so let's have a const student name as well, and we are going to keep it string. Let's keep it student name as Madhav, and I am going to assign it a type of string. So as simple as that. These were the primitive types: boolean, number, string, null, undefined, and so on. There are a lot of things. So let's try it out. Let's put them inside our log statement, and let's use template strings to log a little bit of information. Let's say student name is of age, and then the age is going to be student age, and let's close this, and let's type whether he or she is a student or not, and is a student, and we need to mention this whether he or she is a student or not based on the is student boolean. So let's do something here. Let's do something very quickly. So I'm going to add I'm going to start like this, and what I'm going to do is I am going to start off with, I'm going to check whether it's if is student is false. If is student is false, which is not of is student is true, then I'm going to print not a, otherwise I'm just going to print an empty quote, empty string. Cool. So let's try it out. Let's clear our log, and yes, so Madhav is of age 22 and is a student. Cool. And now let's keep it false and then try it out. So as you can see, Madhav is of age 22 and is not a student. So there's 2a. Cool. So I hope you understand this. This is very simple stuff. If you already have some experience in any other programming language, learning TypeScript is going to be a piece of cake for you. Trust me, guys. It's going to be very, very simple. So now that we have covered the basic types, let's also have a look at the arrays. Let me define an array of, let's say, lucky numbers for that particular student. Again, you can define the type as number followed by square brackets. So this basically means the type of lucky number is going to be an array of numbers 1 2 3 4. That's simple. And then there's one more syntax to define an array of numbers. Let's say favorite numbers, and then you can do something like this: array of number, and you can define it, let's say 5, 6, 7, as simple as that. Similarly, you can have a string array, which is array of strings. Let's say favorite books, and I'm going to keep it as string array, and let's say some book, maybe another book, and maybe one more book. Yeah, that seems cool. And again, just like the array of numbers, we can have another syntax for string as well, and any object, any type, we can have array of string. So this is an equally valid syntax. So let's say my hobbies include coding, sleeping, of course, I love sleeping, and then building stuff, building applications, building tutorials, building writing blogs, and of course talking. I love talking. Awesome. So now you know that we have these sort of arrays as well. So this is something again very simple. We can have another log statement here. Let's say console.log, and maybe I can have the favorite numbers of student name is, let's say, fav numbers. Yeah, that sounds cool. And we can try to run this project. So the favorite numbers of Madhav is 5, 6, and 7. This was as simple as this, as simple as that. Cool. So let's have a look at one more category, which is Enum, which we frequently use while working on real-world projects as well. So let me define an enum called color, and let me say red, green, blue. As simple as that. So by default, the values of this enum start from 0, 1, and 2, and you can check that. Console.log, let's say color dot blue, it should be 2 ideally, and let's do one thing. I'm going to show you different implementations of enum. So let's keep it color 0.blue. So let's clear our logs and let's run it once again. It's going to show 2. That is exactly what we expected. Again, if you want to, let's say, let me copy and paste this whole thing, and I want to say one more thing. You can also assign custom values to the values in enum. For example, let's say you wish to assign red as maybe what let's say 20. Then you can also do this. Now it will start from 20, 21, and 22. So these are some basic programming concepts which you should know. So let's say color 1 dot green, let's say this time green, then it should actually log 21 this time. 21, perfect. And also this is something which I love, which I frequently use as well. Color 2, providing string as value. Red equal to red, green equal to green, and blue equal to blue. Perfect. And now let's log, let's say color 2 dot red. Now it's going to show red. That's amazing. A simple use case for this could be storing the value inside the student, maybe favorite color. So it could be fav color, and the type is going to be color 2 equal to color 2, not 1, color 2 dot, let's say my favorite color is green, and I'm going to do like this. So again, I can put up a log statement saying student name favorite color is, and then here I can type in the favorite color. Perfect, and it's going to run perfectly. Let's clear the logs and then let's run. Madhav's favorite color is green. That's amazing. So yes, again, before we jump on to interfaces and all, one more quick concept, one more very quick concept, the concept of something that we starred up here. Any is super important. So basically, any means anything. The variable could be assigned to any value. So yes, it's as simple to understand as that. So for example, let's say if I say my name equal to Madhav Behel, very simple. So what do you think is going to happen now? Do you think it's going to take in any, or it's going to take in any other thing? So here, as you can see, it is going to infer the type, which is going to be string. As you can see here, it inferred the type to be string. It automatically detected that it is a string. So now it is not any. A lot of people do this mistake, that they think that if we don't provide the data type, then it will probably take it as any. No, it's not going to take it as any. If you don't provide any data type, it's going to at least try to infer the data type from the variable declaration. So now if I try to do something like this, my name equal to 22, this is going to give me an error saying number is not assignable to string. So very simple. Don't do this. This will throw an error since the inferred type is string. I hope you'll keep this in mind. And so how to use any? Very simple. You can assign my name. Let's say my name, instead of my name we can take it another name, and let's keep it of type any, and now I can keep it, let's say Maddie, and now I can also assign it to 22, and now I can assign it back to lean. So now I can play around with any data type. So any means any, as simple as that. And now if you see, let's play around with this a little bit. Let's say the type of another name is, or maybe let's say the value of another name is, and then let's just print out the value another name. Very cool. Let's have a log statement here as well, and let's have another log statement here as well. Let's clear the logs and then let's run. So now as you can see, oh okay, this is off, so I keep doing such spelling mistakes. Don't worry about these ones unless and until you are able to understand the concept. I think these spelling mistakes are something that you can forgive. So yes, the value of another name is Maddie, then it's 22, and then it is lean. So I think that this is very simple to understand, and this is very easy as well. So these were the basic types of the TypeScript. So these included the very basic types of TypeScript. Now awesome, let's delete everything, and before ending this video, let's have a look at interfaces as well. So interfaces is something that we are going to highly use in our React application. Let me tell you what they are. So if you come up from another programming language like C# or Java, you must know the concept of interfaces, but it's not exactly the same. But yeah, here basically interfaces allow you to define the type of JavaScript objects. Let me show you how. Let's say I have a student, which is the value of the student object is, let's say name is Madhav, and let's say age is 22, let's say GPA is 10, perfect 10, wow, nice. Subjects, I have subjects, let's say I have subjects, these subjects, which is physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Perfect. So now let's say if I have this particular object. Now we already saw in the just 2 or 3 minutes ago that we can have basic types as arrays, strings, numbers, and whatnot. But what will be the type of this student? So as you can see, as it showed here, we can define an interface which will contain the type of student. Let me do that. Let me tell you how to do that. So we use interface keyword followed by the name of the data type which we want to create. Interface student, it could be anything. It could be person, human, anything, anything. So let's keep it student, since I want to specifically assign the data type to student. Name is going to be a string, the age is going to be a number, and the GPA is going to be another number, and the subject is going to be an array of strings. Perfect. So as you can see now, it perfectly matches our student object, and now we can assign the type student to this particular student. And let's create a function. Let's say, okay, so subjects did not match because, so as you can see, this is the power of TypeScript. Let's say if I did any mistake here, it told me that this is a mistake, there's an extra S in the name, and here they did not match the type of the interface. But this you cannot do in JavaScript. I hope now you understand why using TypeScript is much better than JavaScript, especially in your real world production ready applications. So now we can quickly fix this and the error goes away. Perfect. Now we have this. And let's do a simple function. Let's create a simple function. Print student details equal to student. My spelling mistakes are increasing day by day, but never mind. Student, and let's create a log statement, console.log. Let's keep it a multi-line log saying student details, and let's print the name as okay, student name, student dot name. Perfect. And let's print the age as again student dot age. Okay, student dot age. Perfect. And then the GPA is going to be let's stop it as here itself. Let's not go beyond this. It's very simple. I hope you got my point, right? So let's call the print student details with our student, with passing our student inside it. Perfect. Now if I run this, you can see student details, name Madhav, age 22, GPA 10. This is perfect. So this was a very quick sort of crash course for you to get started with TypeScript. And now I think you have enough knowledge to start implementing this knowledge in your React applications. If you want to read further, you can read more about the further advanced concepts. Everything is present in the documentation. Perfect. So now that we have this, let's go back to our Pokédex application in the next video. This video went a little bit long, but I hope that you understood the concept of interfaces here. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to share this series. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. See you in the next video. Bye bye.